Very nice meeting you today. We are going to do a presentation on the paper, an empirical paper called Bridging Disconnections, Narratives of Collective Social Entrepreneurs in the Energy Poverty Network. This paper is coming from the University of Comillas in Madrid, from the Management Department of the Business School. The introduction includes the reflection on the problem. The context is the energy poverty is a social problem that is complex and is affecting currently 37 million people in Europe. We are going to approach this problem from the perspective of the social entrepreneur that has a collective and hybrid nature that will allow them to participate, to deal with social issues of this kind. This actor is located in a network formed by different actors and a network that is currently fragmented and not coordinated. The methodology will be interpretative with an hermeneutical phenomenology approach through 16 interviews that may allow us review the phenomenon of social entrepreneurship and discover different narratives that are revealed. We are going to draw from the perspective of Day and Steyer. The research question is how social entrepreneurs perceive and experience their role in the energy poverty network. We are going to use the network lens to social entrepreneurship in energy poverty. The research goals are unravel different narratives of social entrepreneurs in the network of energy poverty, provide knowledge from empirical data of the diversity of narratives, always from the lens of the network, and contributing to the collective dimension of social entrepreneurship through the bridging connections. The theoretical framework may provide us a gap. From the problem, we see that there is little research on social entrepreneurship initiatives, narratives, and also in the network of energy poverty. In the social networks, we see a literature on composition of the network members, relationship between the members of the networks. Also, we see embeddedness of the network, collective social entrepreneurship within the social network. There is a lack, but the main proposition is about the weak ties versus strong ties within the network. The methodology. We are using an interpretative methodology, epistemology, that is mentioned by Frigo, the dominance of positivist methodologies in the energy sector. We are going to use in-depth interviews. We are going to use the phenomenological hermeneutical approach. We have a sample, intentional sample of 16 social entrepreneurs working in energy poverty. We're going to use the validation of Guba-Lincoln, and also withdraw from the literature on narrative analysis, narratives in social science research of Sarniaska, and also on the methodology of interpretative policy analysis. We found 3 different narratives in the networks in energy poverty. And one of the narratives is related to the more commercial approach of social entrepreneurs, where the priority is the profit. They have a commercial perspective in the center. They have a more individualistic and self-interest view. We found no reflexivity around energy poverty, and also business scores. Then a second narrative that is prevalent is the activist narrative that is related to social movements. We found opposition against the energy system. We have found it's revealed the right to energy, the struggle against the companies and governments, and the social movement discourse. The bridge narratives will be the third one, that is has a community approach, more reflexivity, more envisioning and collaboration, mixed discourse, and is based on trust, respect, proximity, vulnerability. So we conclude on 3 points. One is the business narrative is not aware of the network, of the problem, and of the vulnerability. And the activist narrative is exclusive within the network. That means that it's against some of the members within the networks, which impair the coordination and the cohesion of the network. And finally, the bridge narrative is the only one that may be coordinate the different actors. Then we go to the discussions. In the discussion, we find 3 contributions. Two contributions that are relating to the network. One is that if there is an actor that is ignoring the network or excluding other members of the network, it's not possible that this type of members can have activities in common in the network. So there is a need for hybridity in this network. Then the second point would be relating to the relationship within the network. We have the theory of the weak ties as bridges to coordinate, that is coming from Garano-Vetters, and we identify social entrepreneurs as weak tie and potential appropriate nodes to do this coordination. Finally, we have the practical implications that can be drawn from these 2 previous contributions, and it's the institutionalization of the energy poverty networks in Europe. We need more interactions through frequent roundtables with all members of the energy poverty network, with the coordination by social entrepreneurs. So finally, after these contributions, we consider that this paper contributes because it studied the phenomenon of the collective and hybrid nature of social entrepreneurship driven by inclusive and exclusive narratives. So we identify different kinds of narratives in the networks. We provide empirical evidence. We contribute to network theories and social entrepreneurship theories in energy poverty, in the field, in the context of energy poverty. And we can also position social entrepreneurs as bridges and potential coordinators in this network. There are limitations to this work, that is the context, this contextualization, but this may not be a limitation because social entrepreneurship is not a limitation itself, because it needs to be contextualized. Energy poverty needs to be contextualized, and it can provide only partial snapshots of the network, but this is relatively appropriate, considering that the contextualization may enrich the different views, and also it helps us to interpret data with caution and with care. There are different lines of research, one related to the composition and relationship in national energy poverty networks, what is the role of hybrid figures, the process of establishment of such networks. Also, a line of research could be the advocacy of social entrepreneurs and in the network. And then finally, the self-criticisms and reflexivity of social entrepreneurs. So we have here the references, and thank you very much for your support.